तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः.
Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapam Shravanamangalam Shrimadatatam Bhuigrunantiye Bhurida Jana. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and yesterday we had started to read the conversations of Sunday, October 5, 1884. But let us go back to the start of Sunday, because it is all about Hazra. So in one continuation, let us read it. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room after the midday meal with M. Hazra, the elder Kali. You understand? Elder Kali is? Kalicharan Ghosh, the drama people, Babu Ram, Ramlal, Hari, and others. Now, this Hari is who used to come with Mukherjee brothers, or Hari Swami Turiyananda is not very clear here. We'll find as we proceed. Some of these sat on the floor and some stood above. On the previous day, the master had visited Keshav's mother at her Calcutta house and had made her happy with his devotional songs. Hazra had been living with the master at Dakshineshwar a long time. He was a little conceited about his knowledge and even criticized the master now and then before others. Again, he would sit on the veranda of the master's room and tell his beads with apparent concentration. So that was for showing that he is also like Sri Ramakrishna. He spoke slightingly of Chaitanya as a modern incarnation. Because why? Because his mind was limited by the 10 incarnation concept, or being a so-called jnani, he had no idea for an incarnation. He would say, God gives not only pure devotion, but also wealth. So that speaks of his mind with desires. He has no lack of it. By attaining God, one obtains the 8 occult powers as well, which Sri Ramakrishna denounced. Hazra had a small debt to clear up, about 1,000 rupees. It is not very small compared to those days. He had incurred it for the building of his house and was worried about paying it. Anyway, that refers to his character, but now we shall see. The elder Kali had a position in an office from which he received a small salary. He had a large family to maintain. He was devoted to the master and visited him now and then, even absenting himself from the office. That is, Thakur's attraction is to bring him. Kali to Hazra. So Thakur's disciples also know about Hazra. So Kali is telling to Hazra, you go about criticizing people, you are like a touchstone, testing what is pure gold and what is impure. Why do you speak so much ill of others? Now Hazra has to defend himself. So Hazra, whatever I say to him, meaning Sri Ramakrishna alone. So I'm not criticizing somebody before somebody else. I'm telling everything to Sri Ramakrishna for him to judge correctly. And that Sri Ramakrishna accept. Master, that is so. Hazra began to explain Tattva Jnana. So here we shall see Hazra's total ignorance, though he is showing that he is a Jnani. Hazra, the meaning of Tattva Jnana is the knowledge of the existence of the 24 Tattvas or cosmic principles, according to Sankhya's. Do they call it Tattva Jnana? Vyakta, Vyakta, Avyakta, Gya, Vijnana. Anyway, but his knowledge is very funny, to say the least. A devotee, what are they? Hazra, the 5 elements, the 6 passions, the 5 organs of perception, the 5 organs of action, and so forth. So how much he has counted? 5, 5, 5. Huh? No, 6. 21. So he does not know the complete list also. And 6 passions by a stretch also cannot be called element, tattvas. Huh? And okay, huh? He does not talk about Prakriti and Mahat, Ahankar.
Man buddhi,
Huh?
man buddhi chitta ahankar. That what is?
In Sankhya, 24 are there. And what he has told is correct to that extent. The 5 elements is all right. Behind those 5 elements, they talk of Aham. And from Aham, they count 7 as Prakriti Vikruti. That means from 1 is Prakriti, 7 Prakriti Vikruti, 8, and 18 as Vikruti. In between there is a line. He was wrong about the meaning of the word. Because Tattva Jnana, according to correct terminology, is only Brahma Jnana. Him, to the master, smiling. He says that the 6 passions are included in the 24 cosmic principles. So this was like a matter of laughing for everybody else who who knew anything about Sankhya philosophy. Who knew anything about any philosophy. Master smiling. Listen to him. Notice how he explains Tattva-jnana. The word really means knowledge of self. Now, Thakur's explanation is, in principle, it is correct. But literally, it is stretched a little. The word Tat means the Supreme Self. And the word Tvam, the embodied soul. In Tattvam, Tattva Jnana, it is not Tattvamasi. So in Tattva it comes. Tvam is not coming. Tattva Jnana means knowledge of the self. That is correct. And the split is a little stretched. That means the Supreme Self, and the word Tvam, the embodied soul. That is correct. Huh? One attains supreme knowledge, Tattva Jnana, by realizing the... So Thakur is not telling that Tattva Jnana is... So what Thakur is telling is absolutely correct. One attains supreme knowledge, Tattva Jnana. So Tattva Jnana is supreme knowledge. By realizing the identity of the embodied soul and the Supreme Self. So in between, he has brought Tattvamasi. How the supreme knowledge is gained is by Tattvamasi. So please do not take this sentence literally to be a part of that knowledge. We have to understand what Thakur has said, and it should tally with the scriptures. So, in between, he has shown how it is gained. So, that is Tattvamasi. The Tattva Jnana word does not contain the word Tvam. And Thakur is not telling that it contains the word Tvam. But it appears due to the arrangement. And that mistake should not be made. After a few minutes, Hazara left the room and sat on the porch. But talking about Hazara is continuing. Master to M and the others. He, meaning Hazara, only argues. What is the implication? What is the meaning? He has no experience. That is the meaning. He only argues without the corresponding experience. This moment perhaps he understands, but the next moment he is his old self again. This is due to what? Thakur has explained in some other place that if, by the example of the old photographic plate, if it is only a clean glass, then when the camera is set, the picture reflects on that glass. But when the picture is taken away, there is no picture on the glass. So it does not retain. And if that masala, that mixture, silver nitrate we know, is smeared on the glass, then the picture is seen and picture impression remains there, which further by solution and positive and all that picture is got. So, if the Thakur compares it with the discrimination and dispassion, if it is there, then that is like that masala. And that retains the sanskara, good sanskara. Now, because he is in company with Thakur, he may understand at that point. But because there is no proper sanskara there, it is not retained. So we are not concerned by condemning Hazra, but that is an example how hypocrite people behave. And that is also due to his desire. For that, Thakur is analyzing. When the angler hooks a big fish and finds it pulling hard, he releases the line, otherwise it will snap and the angler himself will be thrown into the water. Therefore, I do not say much to him. So, this is little allegorically, figuratively telling that Thakur does not directly tell him you are wrong, because then he will not be able to live with Thakur, he will not be able to have any advantage from Thakur. So that fish example is given. Angler himself will be thrown into the water. That means the man who is trying to correct himself will get drowned. Therefore, I do not say much to him. To M. Hazra said that a man could not be liberated unless he was born in a Brahmin body. Now, this is due to maybe his reading Shankar's commentary too much. Because Shankar appears to say like that. And the word Brahmin itself, we have to understand properly. Because in the Upanishad text, the word Brahmin appears many times. And Brahmana means, see what the Manusmriti has to say. Janmana jayate shudra, sanskara dvija uchyate, vedapati bhaved vipra, brahma janati brahmana. So one who has realized Brahman only is Brahman. Now let us take it relatively. One who is adhikari for realizing Brahman is a Brahman. Now if we come below that, Brahmin as a caste, then only we can say that it is more possible that people with that adhikar are born in that caste. But by examples, we do not find it to be true. And according to Gita, no. Yepesyu papayoneya. And in Gita it says, Brahmins and Kshatriyas definitely will get. And others also will get. Striyo Vaishyas tata Shudra te api yanti paramgatim. Kim punar Brahmana punya bhakta rajarshayos tatha. So about Brahmins and Kshatriyas, if they are proper, then there is no doubt. Brahmana punya and rajarshay is bhaktas. They are getting. Rajarshis, that means they are Kshatriyas, but they are Rishis. So, this limited consciousness that only Brahmins will get exists today even. And some people are ready to extend up to the Trivarnikas, but not at all ready to extend it till the Shudras. But the Gita says, Sthiru Vaishyas Tata Shudra Tepiyati Param. Now, let us discuss this point a little. There are two ways, by examples, old examples. That means the non-Brahmins or Shudras may not have the right to study the Vedas. But that does not deny they becoming Brahmatnas. Vidur is a bright example. Vidur was a Dasi Putra, but he is shown always to be the wise person. So, there are many examples. Janaka, for example, is a Kshatriya. And in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is King Ajatashatru, who is a teacher. So, this Brahman as a caste should not be taken to mean that. Then I will quote some more examples. There was a student in Nagpur Students Home. Madhav Phadke was his name. A Brahmin belonging to the priest class. And he was struggling to join the ND. And he got admitted to ND. And after 6 months, they get some vacation for visiting their house. But before or after his house, he came to Nagpur. And he was talking to our Swamiji. And he was describing about the training, how they receive. And he was telling it with great relish that the seniors kick them with their boots for no reason. And they are training them that we will have to kick your juniors with boots. And that is a part of the training. And he was telling all this with great relish. So after he left Maharaj's room, Maharaj told us, Brahmin ka beta Brahmin nahi hota. The son of a Brahmin is not necessarily a Brahmin. His elder brother wanted to join the Air Force. And Air Force are very strict on some physical things. The size of the nose matters there because you have to retain breath. And he was getting selected, but except for the size of the nose. No, he became a big agriculture officer. But throughout the life, he used to lament that I could not join the Air Force. So, showing both of them, Maharaj used to say, Brahmin ka beta Brahmin nahi. Now, Hazra, due to his ignorance or narrowness of the mind or both. So, Thakur is mentioning that. In the modern times, as far as I know, as far as I have heard, the present Mandleshwar of the Sadhana Sadan near our ashram in Kankar is from scheduled caste. But is taken to be great teacher these days. On the other side, the present Mandleshwar of the Kailash ashram, he is too rigid that if he thinks he is a Shudra, he will not give sannyas. If he thinks, because some people went to him and said, our surname means in our state, not a Shudra, but a Vaishya. I said, no, it means Shudra, I will not give you sannyas. Anyway, and so far as Ramakrishna Mission is concerned, this is absolutely has no meaning. To tell the gathering here, oh, we have many outside Hinduism in America and Russia and European countries, you have people from those countries. And in Belur Math, we have a Muslim, you know that? Gangananda is his name. So, and no caste consideration. Anyway, so Thakur is mentioning that. Thakur himself is giving an example. How is that? I said, one attains liberation through bhakti alone. So here we get another beautiful teaching of Thakur, which is throughout the Kathāmrita. Love or devotion is the only force which gives you Brahman. Whether you are a Brahmin or a scholar does not matter. If you do not have love for God, you will not get realization. Now, if we critically study Shankaracharya, in his Viveka Chudamani, after describing the usual adhikar, separate shloka he makes and says, Moksha sadhana samagram bhaktir eva gariyasi. Swaswarupanusandhanam bhaktiriti abhidiyate atmatattva anusandhanam bhaktiriti apare jagu. So, two alternate definitions or explanations of bhakti he gives. And almost all Vedantis do not agree at all that bhakti has any place. When we point out this shloka, they say, but by bhakti he means Swaswarupa Anusandhana. But he has used the word bhakti. In Vedanta, we have principle of bhaga lakshana. That means if a word is used, some part of it has to be retained, even if it is a lakshana. And if it is a vyanjana, then no doubt, bhaktir eva gariyasi. And if you give up the original meaning and take Swaswarupa Anusandhanam, I ask them, then tell me what is Anusandhan? Because the word is like their liking. Anusandhan means chasing something by going behind. Now we know that our reality is deep inside us. So we go inside, chase it till we get it. That is Anusandhana. So there, the love or devotion is very much there, otherwise why will chase it? And there the two words have great significance. Shankara has explained the Jnani's mode and the Bhakta's mode of bhakti. Swaswarupanusandhana means what I feel as my nature is not my nature. There is a Swarupa and I am chasing that Swarupa. So you may say the Jnanis or the transcendental mind. And Atma Tattva means I know there is my Atman. I do not know its real nature, so I am chasing it to find the real nature. This you may say, Bhaktas. I explained this to one of my Orthodox Vedanti friends. And to his mind he says that so Surupanusandhanam appears to be Bhaktas or immanent God. And Atma Tattvanusandhanam appears to be transcendent. But he accepted that both the margas are there. Anyway, so that is an important discussion. One attains liberation through bhakti alone. Now Thakur gives the example. Now the non-Bengalis will have to be very careful about the transliteration. It is horrible for non-Bengalis. The Bengalis use V for bha or even, yes, bha. Sometimes even for ba. How will a non-Bengali or an Englishman understand that? Will he not call this word shawari? We to some people will be va plus ha. W and V both represent va. But we can make a distinction. W is properly va and V is va plus ha. Never ba or never ba. Impossible. Now, how it happens? Bengalis have, ba in Sanskrit script, Devanagari script, appears pa, pa, ba, ba. Where it ends in the lips. And ya, ra, la, va, which are half swaras. No, Bengalis have no va, no, ya, ra, la. Only ba. So, we, for them, we. My friend, Swami Pitambarananda ji. Bengalis call him Pitambarananda ji. Anyway, so a person like the great Nikhilanand ji should not have used this. I am explaining this because the English people or people not knowing Bengali will never understand this we in place of verb. Shabari. We know the name is Shabari. was the daughter of a hunter. She is known to be a servant like in one ashrama of the Matanga Rishi. And they were liberated. Shabari was liberated. Her guru, let me tell you a story, little story of Shabari. All may not know that. She was so loving God that her guru, Matanga Rishi, told her that Ramachandra, incarnation of God, will come this way and you will get freedom mukti by Ramachandra's touch. And she, after her guru passed away, she was waiting for Ramachandra to come. And when Rama and Lakshmana went that side, somebody had told them that we will meet Shabari, who will tell you about where Sita has gone. And they meet Shabari. And the popular thing is that because she was from a lower caste, she did not observe the rules followed by the higher class. That is what is popularly believed. So she wanted to offer the wild fruits to Rama. And the wild fruits, berries, are sometimes sour, sometimes sweet. So the popular belief is that she tastes whether it is sour or sweet. And if it is sweet, then that tasted fruit she keeps to give to Rama. I am not sure that she did like that. But that is a popular belief. And she fed Rama, that is true. And by Rama's grace, she got liberated. That is her story. Then Ruhidas, they have written, Ruhidas it may be, Raidas, some people say. No, he belonged to a lower caste and he was supposed to be Mirabai's guru, or even otherwise, he is a person who has been liberated. And others belong to the Shudra caste. They were liberated through bhakti alone. When Thakur told this to Hazra, then Hazra says, but still, Hazra insisted. So, but still, only Brahmins will get. So it is said, he only argued without direct experience. Thakur himself liberated Rasik Mehta. And in Thakur's case, we'll get many Rasik Mehtas. This, please don't mind if I'm going astray. This reminds me of another case. In Nagpur Students Home, in the olden days, there was one student, Meghla, belonging to the Shudra class. And very poor, orphan. But by our Swami's grace, he rose to be the chief engineer, perhaps, or some very high post in Damodar Valley Corporation, that first planned organization in India. And he used to come repeatedly to Nagpur. And the sign that he was a Shudra was that as he came, he would immediately start massaging my Guru's feet. And he never objected to that. Now, in the fag end, last days of my Guruji's earthly life, many people came to visit him. And he was, because of his diabetes, the memory was not very clear, but he was remembering. And he was telling Bhaumananji and others, he has not come, he has not come. Bhaumananji tried several names. Then when Bhaumananji said, is it Meglan? Then Swamiji said, yes, yes, yes. You wire to Meglan and call him. So wire was sent and he came and was blessed by my Guruji. Anyway, so I remembered how the real men of knowledge behave. I'm not telling about myself and my students. He recognized Dhruva's spiritual greatness, but not as much as he recognized Prahlada. Now, was Prahlada a Brahmin? Prahlada was the son of a demon. And Dhruva was the son of a king. Anyway, so Hazra has his fancies. When Latu said, Latu is a great example. He belonged to the shepherd caste. And he was as great a Brahmajnani as Swami Vivekananda or others. When Latu said Dhruva had great yearning for God from his boyhood, he kept still. He has no argument for that. Now, we know Dhruva's story, no? Yesterday I told. So, Latu's explanation is that is a outside thing that he wanted to sit somewhere where nobody will disturb him. But inside him we'll find he was a lover of God from the beginning. Latu knows this. I said that there was nothing greater than the bhakti that sought no end and had no selfish motive. So Thakur is talking about Hazra to clearly tell people what is a genuine coin and what is a counterfeit coin. Hazra contradicted me. I said to him, a wealthy man is annoyed when a petitioner comes to him. There he comes, he says angrily. Sit down, he says to him in an indifferent voice and shows that he is much annoyed. He doesn't allow such a beggar to ride with him in his carriage. So people with desires, Thakur has equated like beggars. But Hazara said that God was not like such wealthy people of the world. Thakur's example did not appeal to him. Did he lack wealth that he should feel pinched to give it away? His argument. Hazara said further, when rain falls from the sky, the Ganges and all the big rivers and lakes overflow with water. Small tanks too are filled. Likewise, God out of His grace grants wealth and riches as well as knowledge and devotion. Now all the listeners should mind this. To the devotees, but I call this impure devotion to God, where God does what is not the concern, but what is the mentality of a bhakta who thinks like that. But I call this impure devotion to God. Pure devotion has no desire behind it. You don't want anything from me, but you love to see me and hear my words. You don't want anything from me, but you love to see me and hear my words. My mind also dwells on you. I wonder how you are and why you don't come. So God also loves a person who loves God. This is a beautiful simile and also reveals Thakur's nature as God. You don't want anything of God, but still you love Him. That is pure bhakti. Love of God with no motive behind it. Prahlada had it. He sought neither kingdom nor riches. He sought Hari alone. M. Hazara is a chatterbox. He won't achieve anything unless he becomes silent. He talks too much. But Thakur showered his grace on Hazara also. And we find that at the end, Hazara was liberated. Thakur went to him at the last point, held him by the hand and took him. Master, now and then he comes to me and becomes mellowed. That is Thakur's impression, but he is a pest again, he argues. It is very hard to get rid of egotism. You may cut down an ashwatha tree, but the next day a sprout will spring up. As long as the roots remain, the tree will grow again. So ego. I said to Hazara, don't speak ill of anyone. It is Narayana himself who has assumed all these forms. So first he said, I tell only to Thakur. And Thakur said, that is true. Now Thakur has replied to him also. One can worship even a wicked person. One can worship even a wicked person because it is Narayana himself who has assumed all these forms. Haven't you observed the Kumari Puja? Why should you worship a girl who has all the physical limitations of a human being? It is because she is a form of the Divine Mother. But God dwells in a special way in His devotee. But, so that is true. And yet, God is everywhere. The devotee is His parlor. If the gourd has a large body, then it makes a good tanpura. It gives a nice sound. You know that musical instrument called tanpura, which all the vocalists use, the big bulb is made of pumpkin. So, Thakur is telling differences are there in manifestation, but Brahman is present in all. So anything we can worship if we have the idea of Brahman in that. And that is how the Hindus worship clay images, trees, stones, and everything. So that much is about Hazra. Now, a change of topic. Two monks had arrived at the temple garden in the morning. They were devoted in the study of the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedanta, and other scriptures. They entered the master's room, saluted him, and sat on the mat on the floor. Sri Ramakrishna was seated on the small couch. The master spoke to sadhus in Hindustani, Hindi. Aha! The translation has made it Hindustani. Thakur, Master Master is telling Thakur Hindi te katha kahi. Do you know the difference between Hindi and Hindustani? Hindustani is that Hindi which is mixed with Urdu language. And Hindi is that which is not mixed with Urdu language, it is pure Hindi. That is a big difference. If you want any reference, if you are born before Indian independence, then you will remember. Gandhi, Nehru, both of them wanted Hindustani to be the national language of India. Maybe to appease the Muslims. But the president of the Congress, who was also a member of the Constituent Assembly, Babu Purushottam Das Tandon, so many arguments he brought and forced Nehru and Gandhi to change their view and made Hindi as the national language of India. Later on, in 1960 or 62, Tamil people and Karnataka people politically opposed Hindi, and now 14 languages are national languages. But I am telling this to distinguish between Hindi and Hindustani. And the Bengali, Master Macha is clearly telling Hindi. So Thakur is now talking to the monks. Master, have you had your meal? Sadhu, yes, sir. Master, what did you eat? Dal and bread. Now, sometimes he translates unleavened bread. Bread is made of maida. It is made by baking. Roti is simply from the wheat flour. It is rolled and baked on a hot plate and then directly on the fire. So bread can never take the place of course, in spirit, all right. Dal and bread. But people taking it literally will think bread. And in Dakshineshwar, how they will get bread? Will you take some? They are asking Thakur. Master, no, I take only a few morsels of rice. Well, your japa and meditation must be without any desire for result. Isn't that so? They are good sadhus, huh? Sadhu, yes, sir. Master, that is good. One must surrender the result to God. What do you say? That is the view of the Gita. One sadhu said to the other, quoting from the Gita, O Arjuna, whatever action you perform, that is 9th chapter, 26 shloka. Whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give in charity, and whatever austerities you practice, offer everything to me. Offer every action of yours to me. That means you should cultivate the consciousness, I am not the doer, God is the doer in every activity of yours. So that one of the sadhus quoted to the other, Master, if you give God something, you receive in back 1,000 times over. You understand this point? Very important point. What you offer to God, you get 1,000 times. That is why, after doing meritorious deeds, one offers handful of water to God. It is a symbol of offering the fruit to God. When Yudhishthira was about to offer all his sins to Krishna, Bhima warned him, never do such a thing. Whatever you offer to Krishna, you will receive back 1,000-fold. To one of the sadhus, well, sir, one should be desireless. One should renounce all desires. Isn't that so, sadhu? Yes, sir. Master, but I have the desire for bhakti. Thakur's special case. I think we stop here. We'll take up the sadhu subject again tomorrow. No, on Thursday. Tomorrow being Wednesday, we will not have the gospel class. Om Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kaviviridhitam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadaatatam Bhui Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana Om Shanti 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 Hare Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.